giving some secrets away here. Give your athletes permission just to win. See, there's a lot of talk in wrestling. Well, first of all, I got my Niles, Michigan shirt on. Coach Todd Hassan has been to our camp. I think he brought about 14 kids to our 14-day camp this summer. In fact, I know that it was 14 to 17. And one of our coaches just did a private team camp for them. So Coach sent me back a shirt here, so I appreciate it. And I appreciate you getting involved in our camps. And, you know, happy to wear this awesome workout shirt. And thank you for that. As far as a good tip for your athletes, there's a lot of talk in wrestling, right? We call it Tommy Tough Guy, right? We get into Tommy Tough Guy mode. And there's a coach, I forget who was saying this. I saw it on some video. He calls it coach speak. It drives him nuts, right? I remember when John Smith took over Oklahoma State. I had 3 years left, and he says, I'm an athlete. I will coach like an athlete. That's my commitment. I hate it when athletes turn into coaches and they start turning into coaches and they forget what it's like to be an athlete. I promise you guys, I won't forget what it's like to be an athlete. I know how stressful it is. I know you have girlfriend issues, school issues, you miss home, weight cutting issues. You know, sometimes you need someone to kick you in the butt. Sometimes you need someone to pat you on the back. He goes, I understand all of this. And that's one thing I'm going to try to do as a coach is coach like an athlete, not turn into a coach, right? Coach speak. We get into that. I call it Tommy Tough Guy. You got to score. You got to dominate. Only wrestle to dominate. Break his will. Break his spirit to be a human. I mean, all of this stuff. Sure, you know what? Maybe if you're David Taylor, you can do that, right? How about this? What do baseball? What do they teach? Hit the ball, get on base. Don't worry about doubles and triples and home runs. Those happen. You get on base. You keep getting on base, good things happen. And that's one thing I do for our athletes is I take the pressure off, right? I'm like, dude, the kid you're getting to wrestle with a 3-time state finalist. Yeah, you want to break his spirit and break his will to survive. Wear him down. We had a kid years ago, 4-time state finalist. State finalist as a freshman, going against a good kid. I think he was a junior, defending state champ. And hour before the match, he wanted to talk to me, and he's like, yeah, my coach and I think that, you know, I'm a little bit behind this guy maturity-wise, and so, you know, my goal is just to make him tired. And I just got quiet. I didn't know if I wanted to headbutt the concrete wall or interfere. I try not to interfere, you know. This coach is a good friend of mine, but a young guy. And I was like, oh, I let it slide. He goes out there and gets beat. Russell's stupid. And I'm like, I should have intervened, you know. I should say, no, Greg, guess what? You're not going to make this kid tired. It's a freaking state champion. How about you just win? How about take him down and ride his ass, get off bottom, get an escape, stalemate if you have to, score again. How about you just do whatever it takes to win the match and try to be the state champion as a freshman, right? And he beat like 2 state champs as a 7th grader, 3 or 4 state champs as an 8th grader. So this kid was a freaking dynamo, right? But I think a secret to helping your athletes is give them permission just to win, right? They don't have to break someone's willpower. They don't have to score 37 points. Just win, right? Now, it's like a quarterback. You know, I'm not a skilled quarterback, so I'm going to be very aggressive, but also smart. A guy on TV got criticized for saying, you know, the quarterback plays within himself, or maybe the coach said I allow him to play within himself. And there was a lot of criticism. And I really don't follow sports. I don't really know anything about sports besides wrestling. But I did hear this just because Greg Gutfeld was making fun of it. And I watch his show on Fox. But yeah, you do want to play within yourself. So a better example would be basketball, right? I want to be on the basketball team. I'm a good basketball player. I'm not as good as these other guys, but I will be one day. So I'm a layup dude. I'm a jump shot from up close guy. I'm money. So then I try to come back close to the 3-point line. I suck. I hit the 3-point line. I suck even worse. So if you say, no, you got to score. You got to always try to score points. I'm going to suck. The coach is going to put me on the bench. So if I'm shooting and diving and I'm trying to score 37 points in a match and I'm trying to break a state champ who's an 18-year-old man, All right, I'm trying to break his spirit and wear him down. I'm going to wrestle so stupidly, I'm going to get teched, right? As a wrestling coach, we reward stupid wrestling because we're in Tommy Tough Guy mode. Where in basketball, they would say, dude, you suck. Go sit down. You're not on the team anymore, right? You shouldn't be shooting from out there. You're a layup guy. You're a jump shot guy. Now, next year, you might be a three-point guy, but you have another 400 hours of drill time. But for today, let's be the state champion. What's wrong with just being the state champion? I'll pass the ball to the three-point guy. I'll pass the ball to the outside jump shot guy. But if I'm a layup guy, that's where my skill set is. So as wrestlers, we don't really say, I'll do this, I won't do that. I forbid myself of doing this, I won't do that. Because everyone's different, right? So scoring from the outside against the state champ, it may not be there, but I'll score from the outside on a JV kid who I had first round at state. So our instincts is not to think. Our rule is this: trust your instincts. Your instincts will never, just let the wrestling happen, right? Sure, maybe after the match you're like, I warmed up a little too much. I didn't warm up enough. I was too fired up. Wasn't fired up enough. I probably shouldn't have forced that shot in overtime. Good thing I got a stalemate and was able to win anyway. I'm gonna be smarter next time, right? But you don't really set your, you don't think about it in the beginning, right? I'm sure the basketball player, he sees the net and he's like, it's too far. And he might get closer, or he stops and he passes the ball off, because we're not morons. We don't, just let your instincts take over a little bit. So as a coach and an athlete and a parent, try not to go into Tommy Tough Guy mode and say, repeat those just regurgitated, that sounds good now. It's a good pep talk, right? Sounds good in the locker room, but it's not real world, right? If, as a quarterback, I'm going to start, right now I need a lot of opening and I need a lot of time. The best quarterbacks, they only need that much space in the blink of an eye, and they're going to put the ball there. So as a quarterback, my level of aggressiveness on the basketball court and on the football field will automatically improve without even thinking about it as my skills rise. But if I'm throwing 5 interceptions a game, my confidence is suffering. I have 3 good plays and then I have 5 interceptions. I'm focused on the interceptions because I'm a human. What if I only take 4 leg attacks, but I score 3 takedowns and get 1 stalemate? That's awesome. What if I take 14 leg attacks because my coach is forcing me to, and I get taken down 7 times, and I got 2 takedowns, and I got 1 stalemate, and I got choked 4 times in a front headlock? I don't feel good about it, right? So the whole mindset of throw the football a whole lot, keep shooting the basketball every time you touch it, and eventually it'll start going in the net. That doesn't work because your confidence breaks. So we got to think about this. I'm not going to want to go to practice. I want to avoid basketball practice. I'm like, this might not be for me. I'm not having success. But if my coach gives me permission, just like the baseball, see, they're freaking smart. They're like, hit the ball, get on base. We'll worry about the rest later. Oh, guess what? I hit a home run. I wasn't expecting that. I'm glad it happened. But I also got on base 4 times. All right. You struck out 17 times, hit 2 home runs. All right. No, that's not a way to be a baseball player. So if there is a secret to helping kids to really have success in wrestling, it's just give them permission to win. Give them permission to win. They don't have to dominate everybody, right? You don't have to throw 8 touchdowns a game. You don't have to. And let's be honest, you're probably not going to. Your opponents are good. See, we forget that our opponents are good. We're the hardest working team in the state. No one deserves to win more than we do. Bull crap. They deserve it just as much. They work just as hard. Their coaches are great, just like you. There's about 5% that deserve it just as bad. Let's not kid ourselves. Now, how do I consistently beat those guys? Right? I know if you just look at Kyle Snyder, I mean, the guy's won the Olympics, he's won the Worlds, he won the NCAAs. How many close matches? He's had close matches every year at the NCAAs. Even a guy who's considered the best wrestler in America, at least until about a month ago, I mean, he's a couple close matches away from never even being an NCAA champ, couple close matches away from never being a world champ, but yet he's mastered winning close matches because I think he's lived there. I don't know the guy. I just respect the way he wrestles. I like it. Even Jordan Burroughs, who scores a lot of points, he still wrestles smart, right? He's known to be a second half of the match wrestler. He kind of spends the first match feeling him out. Some people criticize him before it, but how do you criticize a guy with 5 or 6 world titles? I don't think you do it, you know? So I think if you look at higher level examples and you get people who are more successful than I was as an athlete, we didn't have that back then. All we had was, you know, every practice was, let's kill these guys. It's Army boot camp. We're going to try to make our team suffer as much as humanly possible. And then we're going to preach to them to shoot, 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 move, 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 fake, 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 shoot, 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 score, score, score. So I kind of grew up in that about, you know, 25 or so years ago, but things are changed now. And I think that, you know, that's been our approach, because I spent about 3 or 4 years evaluating my wrestling career and stuff after I quit wrestling and went into grad school and stuff. And I really think that when I was wrestling my best was when I just gave myself permission just to win. So I made a decision, and when I learned how to ride legs, and there were some things I learned that really changed everything. And all the things I learned from John Smith. I got to wrestle with John, you know, 3 to 6 days a week for 3 years. I used to travel the nation with John. I didn't do Oklahoma State camps. I did John Smith camps much of the summer. I was just like John's training partner. It was awesome. And I learned a lot. And so I really wrote down everything I learned from John. And I said, when I'm a coach one day, you know, this is going to be our approach. And it really is the same approach that the coach allowed his quarterback to take, who ended up, you know, being one of the top quarterbacks in the nation or the world, I guess. And then it's the same approach that the baseball teams are allowed to take. So give yourself permission just to win. I just want to win. That's it. All right. I'm not here to put on a freaking show. If you want to be entertained, go to a freaking circus. All right. If you like the way I wrestle, awesome. If you don't, what do I care? I'm very selfish. I worry about myself. When it comes to athletics, I worry about myself. You have to, because it's an individual sport. So take the same advice that the baseball coaches, the world-class baseball coaches, give their athletes, and use that as your coaching advice or your personal wrestling advice. And don't allow other people to put undue pressure on you, because a lot of them are engaged in regurgitating coach talk, Tommy Tough Guy talk, and it's not really real world talk, right? Because if it did work, then you know, all of these famous NCAA champs would have pinned their way through the NCAA tournament. I know all the famous college or Olympic wrestlers that you follow, most of them had close matches in the finals or in the whole tournament, right? Most of them were a point away from not even being top 5 in their nation. You have to win a lot of close matches, because that top 5% are just as good as you, and you're not going to win them by trying to just, you know, take the Tommy Tough Guy approach. So good luck to you. Check us out at purlerwrestling.com, and good luck to everyone.